If you've ever walked through an old orchard or woodland floor, you'll notice something striking. The soil is dark, loose, and alive, springy underfoot and full of earthy fragrance. No fertilizer bag created that. It's the result of centuries of natural mulching, where fallen leaves, aged wood chips, and straw layered down season after season to build a living carpet. Early farmers copied this process, using what nature provided to keep soils moist, fertile, and full of life. But as modern agriculture rose, these age-old practices were criticized, restricted, or even discouraged. Synthetic fertilizers and bare soil cultivation took their place, and with them came declining soil health and vanishing microbial diversity. Today, many gardeners are rediscovering why these old mulches were so effective, and how bringing them back can outperform synthetic options in both productivity and sustainability. Traditional farmers used mulches because they saw firsthand how crops responded to them. A layer of leaves or straw held back weeds, kept the soil cool in summer, and preserved precious moisture. When wood chips and crop residues broke down, they released nutrients slowly and built humus that resisted erosion. But by the mid-20th century, chemical agriculture turned mulching into an afterthought. Extension services and industrial farms warned against wood chips or leaves, claiming they tied up nitrogen, harbored pests, or spread disease. At the same time, synthetic fertilizers promised quick results, and herbicides were sold as an easier way to control weeds than natural ground cover. As a result, soils were left bare, exposed to sun and erosion, with fertility dependent on constant chemical feeding. It worked for a while, but the long-term cost was soil degradation, loss of organic matter, and an environment hostile to soil life. The old mulches worked not because they fed plants directly, but because they fed the soil ecosystem. So, aged wood chips in particular are a powerhouse for fungi, which thrive on lignin and cellulose. These fungal networks break down the chips into humus, while also connecting to plant roots, extending their reach for water and nutrients. Leaves provide a more balanced carbon-to-nitrogen ratio, offering minerals captured by trees during growth, especially calcium, magnesium, and trace elements. Straw acts as a quick-cover mulch, reducing evaporation and protecting soil from pounding rain, while also breaking down into organic matter that microbes can use. So together, these three mulches form a kind of layered system. The wood chips, they provide the long-term framework, while the leaves contribute balanced minerals and decompose a bit quicker, and then the straw covers and protects the whole layer. Unlike synthetic fertilizers, which, provide nutrients in a rush and then just disappear, organic mulches actually release fertility gradually. They help stabilize soil structure and encourage worms and microbes that create self-sustaining fertility. The difference honestly becomes obvious after just a single season of consistent mulching. The soil below turns darker, more friable, and it's noticeably cooler and moister, even during those hot, dry spells. One of the main reasons modern advisors discouraged using wood chip mulch was because fresh chips can actually tie up nitrogen as surface microbes begin digesting them. But hey, the solution is quite simple. Just age the chips. To do this, gather wood chips from pruned branches, arborist deliveries, or even chipped firewood waste. Pile them up in a corner of your garden, wet them down, and let them sit for, about 3 to 6 months. If you can, turn them once during this time to allow for even decomposition. Over time, you'll notice fungi colonizing the pile, and it will start to give off a pleasant earthy smell, rather than the sharp scent of fresh wood. It's a pretty neat transformation. When spread around plants, aged chips don't rob nitrogen from roots because decomposition has already begun. They can be applied in layers 2 to 4 inches thick around perennials, trees, and shrubs, keeping a small gap around the base of stems to prevent moisture buildup against bark. For annual beds, apply 1 to 2 inches topping up as needed. Aged chips retain water-suppress weeds and encourage fungal partners, especially in fruiting crops like tomatoes, peppers, and berries. Leaves are often seen as waste in urban settings, bagged up and hauled away each fall. In traditional farming, however, they were prized as tree compost. Leaves collect nutrients throughout the growing season, and when they fall, they return those minerals to the soil. It's a beautiful cycle that keeps our gardens thriving. You know, the key to using leaves as mulch is to shred them first. Whole leaves, especially from maples or oaks, can mat down and block water, so shredding really helps in making them more effective. By running them through a mower or chipper, you create a fluffy material that spreads easily and decomposes faster. This simple step can make a big difference in your garden's health. So, a shredded leaf mulch of about 2 to 3 inches can be spread over your vegetable beds in the fall. This not only protects the soil from erosion, but also feeds those beneficial microbes all through the winter. By the time spring rolls around, much of that mulch is broken down, leaving just a thin residue. You can simply rake it in lightly before you start planting. For a practical ratio, just think of 1 large bag of shredded leaves for every 20 square feet of your garden bed. Over time, repeated leaf mulching really improves soil organic matter significantly. In fact, studies show increases of up to 1% per year in organic content when used consistently. Straw has actually been used for centuries because it covers ground quickly, is super easy to apply, and provides both moisture conservation and temperature regulation. Unlike hay, which contains seeds that can germinate, straw is mostly seed-free. A 2 to 3 inch layer over newly planted beds holds in moisture during germination and shields seedlings from intense heat. It's really quite amazing how effective this can be for your garden. Straw also breaks down within a single season, leaving behind a layer of organic matter that blends easily into the soil. This process helps maintain a healthy microbial balance, which is so important for plant growth. For example, 1 bale of straw can cover approximately 50 to 60 square feet of bed space at the ideal thickness. It's a practical and efficient way to maximize your gardening efforts. As it decomposes, straw supports bacteria and fungi alike, creating a balanced microbial environment. In orchards and berry patches, straw placed under plants also prevents soil splash during rain, which reduces the spread of fungal disease to leaves and fruit. The real power of traditional mulches shows when they're used together. Begin with a base of aged wood chips 2 inches thick, add a layer of shredded leaves 1 inch thick, and finish with a light cover of straw to hold everything in place. This 3-layer system mimics the natural forest floor and provides a steady stream of carbon, minerals, and quick organic breakdown. Over the course of a season, earthworms move upward into the mulch layers, dragging fragments down into the soil. Fungi weave through the chips, breaking them down and leaving humus-rich residues. Microbes feast on sugars and minerals released from decomposing leaves, while straw acts as a temporary shield until it too is consumed. By the second year of repeating this method, gardeners notice less crusting on the soil surface, improved drainage in heavy clay, and better water retention in sandy soils. In essence, the mulch doesn't just sit on top, it becomes part of the soil structure itself. For vegetable gardens, the best time to apply layered mulch is late fall after beds are cleared. Spread the 3-part mulch and let winter moisture and microbes begin their work. By spring, the material has partially broken down, leaving a fertile base for planting. For orchards and perennials, mulching can be done anytime, but spring and fall applications are most effective. So, to maintain a consistent cover, you'll want to reapply straw every year, add leaves each fall, and then, put down wood chips every second year. As a rule of thumb, just think about applying roughly 3 cubic feet of mulch for every 25 square feet of bed space. For row crops like corn or beans, it's best to mulch between the rows once your seedlings reach about 6 inches tall. This helps protect the soil, while still giving your plants a chance to really get established. Bringing back aged wood chips, leaves, and straw is more than just a nostalgic return to old methods. It's really a way of restoring the natural cycles that kept soils fertile for centuries before chemicals disrupted them. These mulches, well, they rebuild organic matter, boost microbial diversity, and honestly, they reduce the gardener's dependence on external inputs. Unlike synthetics, which, let's face it, need reapplication every few weeks, mulches compound their benefits year after year. Over time, the soil becomes self-regulating, more moisture efficient, and honestly just biologically resilient. Modern agriculture really tried to ban or dismiss these methods, but the results in the garden definitely prove otherwise. Where bare soil erodes and weakens, mulch soil actually strengthens and thrives. So, the choice is clear. Feeding soil life through traditional mulches leads to healthier crops, fewer problems, and, well, a more sustainable future for any garden. If you've been relying on bare soil or quick fertilizers, now is the time to rediscover what farmers once knew. Layer aged wood chips, shredded leaves, and straw into your beds, and watch how quickly the soil responds with better texture, richer biology, and stronger crops. These are the mulches that built fertility for generations, and they can do it again in your own garden. For more guides on soil revival and resilient growing practices, subscribe to Hydrohaven and share this video with fellow gardeners who are ready to bring life back into their soil the natural way.